Well, look who it is, the mighty Bowser. Hey guys, I'm Alex from Fans of Games, and what we have here is the Mighty Bowser Lego set. This is very different from the Bowser you would get with the Lego Mario course set, and also very different from the little Bowser you get with the question mark block set. I mean, he doesn't even have a face here. Whereas in this set, they went through full detailing of his face, his shell, even added a little podium that he stands on as well. I mean, that surely justifies me spending the money to get this thing, right? Right? Anyway, the main reason I got this was because the Lego store I got this from showcased Bowser playing the Lego NES. He was holding the controller, and it was just really cool. And I'm just like, you know what? I want that in my gaming room too. So I think that's enough of me rambling on about this. I know you guys want to see the building, so why don't we get to that? But first, let's unbox this bad boy. All right, let's get to the unboxing. Turning on the lights and going on the floor for this one. So what we got. I'm gonna have to do this in a really weird position. Alright, let's just cut the tape, trying not to damage the box as much as possible. Though that is proving to be a bit difficult. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, now let's see what's inside. Whoa! This is already kind of falling out here. Alright, we already lost a bag. Wow, there is a lot more than I thought there was going to be in here. And big pieces in addition to that. How big is the book going to be? Alright, I think that's everything. Yep. So, let's get the book. Oh, no, let's cut this open first. Pick that up. 22! 22! My goodness, the Pac-Man set only had 14. Jeez. And I thought that one had a lot. I know I'm not entirely in frame for this, but whatever. Oh my gosh, this is a thick book. That's a really cool cover, though. They did a really good job with the photography of this. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be awesome. Well guys, this is everything laid out. It's a mess right now. Let's get it organized and then we'll get into building. Alright guys, this is all 22 bags laid out here. One thing to note is that unlike the other Lego sets I've done, most notably the Pac-Man set recently, this one does not seem to have any duplicate bags. So that means like there's not 2 bags labeled 14 or like 7 or something like that. So that's probably why that there's more than the others. But regardless of that, like I said, this looks like a lot of fun. So I'm getting impatient. Let's get to building. Bag 1 is done. And we just got, looks like we're just starting off with the podium and the base for now. We have a power block though, so that's probably going to be exposed in the final build. But yeah, other than that, nothing too noteworthy as of yet. So let's move on to bag 2. All right, guys, bag 2 is now done. Just more of the podium is finished. Just around the top and We have some spikes on the side now too. This thing that comes out, and I'm assuming you can scan Lego Mario on here and it'll do something, so it'll be interesting to see what that's all about. But yeah, other than some minor cosmetic stuff, that's about it. So let's move on to bag 3. Okay, so bag 3 is now done, and as you can see, we got more detailing on the top done. Looks like we also got the throne ready as well. So let's move on now to bag 4, where it looks like we'll be working on the flame towers. Okay, so bag 4 and the podium are now done. So as I suspected, this looks like the throne probably in the middle of Bowser, and then his feet are probably gonna be on the sides here. As I said earlier, we have the flame towers done, and if you'll notice, the power block that was on this side is now covered. Not sure why exactly it's even there to begin with. Maybe it's just supposed to be like a nice Easter egg nod thing. Maybe we'll find out in a little bit. But without further ado, I say let's get on with bag 5. Okay guys, bag 5 is now done, and at this point in the building, I'm not really too sure what we're working on here. This thing moves, that's all I know. Not sure what that's gonna mean for the future yet. So why don't we just move on to what bag 6 has in store. Alright guys, bag 6 is now done too. And at this point, I'm still a little confused as to what we are working on. Due to the size of this, I'd imagine it's probably somewhere within the area that the shell is in. But it's a little confusing still because it does have a moving element too, actually. Not only this piece here, which pushes something, maybe this is supposed to come out and then you push it, goes like that. I'm not too sure. But this whole, this assembly here spins this lower assembly as well, which is not attached to anything on the bottom there. But if you spin it or turn it, then it moves this other assembly. Not quite sure what that's all about, but let's just continue with bag 7. All right, bag 7 is now done, working more along the side finishing. And just taking a look at the box here, it kind of looks like we're working on his chest. The more I'm seeing this now, like if you kind of look at the side, like this part here can move around, and these things move too. So this could be for the arm, for a arm. And like I said, I think that might be the chest that we're working on here. But I'm sure we'll know more and more as we continue, so let's go on to bag 8. Alright guys, bag 8 is now done, and like I was saying earlier, this looks more and more like it's probably the chest area, especially since it looks like we're starting on like the outer rim of the shell at this point. And I'm sure we'll be doing more of that, it looks like, in bag 9, so let's get into it. Okay guys, so bag 9 is now done, and we got a lot more of the rim of the shell done, along with the tail as well. At least I'm assuming this is going to be the tail. I don't know what else it could be at this point. But yeah, this definitely looks like this part here is the chest, that's the shell. And yeah, that's probably the tail. I'm assuming the head is probably going to mount on here somewhere, but not quite sure yet. There was this one part though at the very end, actually, when it comes to attaching the tail. There's like these two little holes that the tail snaps into. I don't want to take it out again because it took me like 5 minutes to get them lined up to like click in there. And it says you're supposed to hear an audible click. I personally did not hear one, and I didn't really feel it either when I was pushing them in. But I mean, you can kind of tell like they're connected. The tail's not like moving out, and if I were to pick it up, it doesn't fall out. So I think we're pretty secure. Anyway, that's that. But let's move on to bag 10. All right, so bag 10 is now done, and according to the book, bag 10 is starting work on one of the feet. So this looks like we're probably on the knee portion right now. This might be where the ligament goes to allow the foot to move around. And yeah, that's what we have as of now. So let's now move on to bag 11. Alright guys, so bag 11 is now done, and as you can see, we have Bowser's right foot attached to his body and fully built. As you can see, they got the details like the toe claws here and this round bit, which looks like it's supposed to be his kneecap the more I'm thinking about it. I'm not really too sure. But something I just do want to point out is it is a little difficult to do this last step here. We're supposed to connect the light gray piece from the foot onto the dark gray piece in the body, except obviously on this side. There's one thing that you do have to know when putting that together is that it goes in kind of at an angle. Let me see if I can get that illustrated for you here. There you go, that kind of looks, that looks good. But yeah, it's not going to go in straight, it's going to be on an angle, which is similar to his stance in the actual games. Yeah, it just make sure you don't force it in because you don't want to break it, especially halfway in to building. That would be very bad. I got to very carefully move this now. You know, we'll just leave him like that for now. Anyway, so let's continue on with bag 12, where we'll be building the other foot and I believe probably attaching it as well. Bag 12 is now done, beginning work on the left foot. Not much else to say other than that, so let's go on to bag 13 now. Bag 13 is now done, and as you can see, Bowser now has 2 legs. He's got 2 legs and a really ghetto-looking neck right now. Anyway, that's what bag 13 was all about, so let's move on to bag 14, where we're going to start a new assembly. Well, at least bag 14 is now done, guys, but they really couldn't have made this any more creepy. Like, come on, guys. I mean, just to add to it, the eyes move. But I mean, as you can see, we got his head on more in a, I don't even know how to describe this. I don't want to call it like a normal state because what the hell is this? He looks like a turtle without a lower jaw. Which, I mean, I guess is basically what he is right now. And there's like a little piece of hair, like alfalfa style hair right there. I'd be shocked if many of you got that reference. But anyway, yeah, that's what bag 14 was about, making this creepy guy. So, let's hope that ends and maybe he doesn't look so scary when it comes to bag 15. Bag 15 is done, guys, and so is Bowser's mouth. He no longer looks like a creepy Terminator-looking turtle guy. He actually has, well, a face. Although he still doesn't have arms. Kind of looks like his arms are little, like, cannons here. Why would that actually kind of work for his aesthetic? I don't know, so funny, puny little cannon arms. Anyway, let's continue on now with bag 16. Alright guys, bag 16 is now done, and it was a very sporadic one. We're just patching up some holes basically. First thing we did was put on the rest of Bowser's cheeks, which lining these up is actually kind of difficult. You'd think that maybe they're supposed to move, which really wouldn't make sense, like when you first put them on. Let me see if I can find a picture here of how to do that. Like when you're putting them on his face, where these were, these spin freely in this state. And what you're supposed to do is line up the cheek with not only this piece on both sides, but this one as well. And there's like a little divot you can kind of see, like right there, or sorry, up here, where the gray piece is just gonna be. So, yeah, that was a little difficult to line up, but once you figured it out, it was not too bad. It was also kind of difficult to line up the collar here too. Making the collar wasn't too bad, but when it came time to actually put it on Bowser, lining it up with these little yellow clips on both sides was rather difficult. And that was probably the most annoying part of this whole
process here was just lining those up. They don't really click, and you kind of just have to wiggle them around. I had to remove the green and like yellow smooth tops here, which unfortunately are covered by the rest of the shell, which is another thing that we did here with bag 16. But I had to remove these pieces on both sides to get them to line up properly. You might need to do the same. This one actually flew off back here while I was in the middle of trying to put it on. This side clipping it on, this piece just flew off. That made it easier, so I just took it off on this side. Anyway, bag 16 was kind of a hassle, just sporadically putting things together. So let's hope that that won't be the case with bag 17, where it looks like we'll be starting the middle of the shell. Just as suspected, the middle of the shell is now done. It's kind of weird seeing just like the middle of it though, with the rest still not complete yet. But we'll be continuing on with that more in bag 18. Okay guys, so now bag 18 is done, and we got the right side of the shell attached as well. You guys see this here? Something tells me that I misplaced something. Making the shell, I heard from both of the people that I know who made this already, is the most fun part. I think they were playing around with me, because this is an absolute pain in the ass. Trying to line this up, and I mean, like, there is no way that there's supposed to be that gap there, or the gap here. But these pictures are not the best, and I just don't understand what's going on. We still have the left side to do. Oh. Well, that's great. Gotta fix that now too. Oh, brother. Well, I'll fix that, and then we'll move on to bag 19 for the left of the shell and see how that goes from there. Bag 19 is now done, guys, and along with that comes the rest of the shell. Bag 19 again was working on the left portion of the shell, completing that off. Now, this did not seem to solve my problem with the gaps, the excessively large gaps in between the sections here. Because it seems like everything that I have here is just ever so slightly not lined up. But no matter how hard I try fiddling it around, I just can't figure out why they're not lining up. And I mean, these pictures are not the best. I mean, like, it doesn't look like there's supposed to be, you know, a gap like this there. But I just don't understand why mine is like that. So maybe I'll try playing around with it a little bit more, but I'm honestly getting really tired of doing that. And I mean, it still looks okay. There's a bit of a gap down there, which the picture does not specify whether or not that's supposed to be there. But yeah, it's really, really annoying. I think I'll just have to try playing around with it some more. Anyway, though, like I said, I'm just getting super tired with trying to mess with this. Figured out the problem with the shell. Couldn't believe I didn't notice this earlier. What's it called? The white piece here is sitting too high in the shell. It's these the red rods, or the red rod and the black bracket are supposed to be connecting to the white piece up here on the third hole, not the fourth. Very, very small mistake that led to me having to essentially take apart the entire shell pretty much to make this one little fix. But yeah, at least I figured it out. Took everything out in rather big chunks, so it should be relatively simple to put back together. And yeah, man, that is quite the detour Like I said, can't believe I didn't notice that earlier. But at least I figured it out now. Let's hope that my solution works. Alright, the shell is fixed. My solution worked. The engineer in me just could not let it go unchecked because I knew something was wrong here. I just couldn't figure out what. Thankfully, Me Too was also building Bowser as well. So I was able to compare mine to his because he wasn't having the same issue, and that's how I found out that I just misaligned that one part, which ruined the whole shell and caused me to have to take everything apart. But like I said, the shell is fixed now, my solution worked, so we can finally continue on with bag 20. Alright guys, bag 20 is done, and as you can see, all we really did was work on Bowser's biceps for both of his arms. You know, just so he can practice doing the curls for Peach. Anyway, let's move on now to bag 21, where we'll be working on the rest of the arms. Okay guys, bag 21 is now done, and I was a little mistaken with how I described what was going to be going on in the last clip. I said we were going to be finishing off his arms. I mean, technically we did, but we still got to do his hands, which look like what bag 22 is going to be. I mean, well, that's the last bag we got, so yeah, I say we finish this off. Let's move on to bag 22.
We've got hands. But what good are hands without a purpose? Why not say holding a video game controller? Or better yet, why not play a game with said controller? Well, that's exactly what Bowser's going to do today. So why don't we help him get into place? Alright Bowser, you got the ultimate gaming setup here. I mean, who else can say that they played Mario Brothers on their very own throne? Aw, what's the matter? Don't like playing Mario? Oh, well that's just too bad. Looks like you're just gonna have to deal with it. Well guys, I better say this quick before my game is over, but overall this was a very fun set to build. Though it had moments of complexity, it was still just super fun to figure all that out. If you like Mario and you want to spice up your game room or entertainment area, I highly recommend you pick this up. Ah! Lego Peach? Phew, you got him! Oh, come on!